I found this album while listening to the catalog yesterday, and let me share it with you all. It's called Glory Sound Prep by John Bellion, and boy howdy, I am feeling it.
We interrupt this scheduled broadcast for a breaking news update from the Sticky Buttons podcast.
What is up, guys? This is the Sticky Buttons pod. This is your host, Brandon.
And this is Blake.
And we're coming at you with our 20th episode today.
Yeah, definitely, man. So tell me, dude, what's been up? What have you been playing?
Man, I have been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. I've been really getting into it, just discovering more and more things, putting different kinds of trees on my island, trying to decorate things. I recently bought a home. I paid off the mortgage on my first home.
You don't have a tent anymore.
No more tent vibes.
Nice.
So everyone on the island of Naomi now has a home, and I'm saving up my money. I'm thinking about maybe going for putting an extension on my house, making it a little bigger. But that's pretty expensive. I think it's going to run me about 350,000 bells.
Dang. How many do you have?
Right now, saved up, I have about 180. But my mentality is if you can't buy it twice, you shouldn't buy it. So I got to save about 700,000 bells before I.
Even in the game, man?
Even in the game.
Oh, man. That's crazy. Whenever I like go and buy something in games, I'm always like barely get enough to get it, and then I get it, and then I'm like, well, I'm broke. Can't buy anything else.
Can't do that here because you actually need tools and stuff, and I need to help build a shop right now as well. We don't have a shop in the island. I'm trying to really develop the island a bit more, get some more infrastructure in there. So a shop is important to me right now. But it's been kind of hard because I don't have enough rocks spawning. I have to break the rocks to get these iron ores.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I get 30 iron ores, I can finish finally getting all the materials gathered for my shop.
Nice. And then once you have the shop, you can like buy things that are fun.
Yeah, you get access to a wider variety of things. You have this thing called the drop box where you just go and you drop things off, and then the bells get sent to your account. It's just more seamless. It makes your island a bit more appealing. And yeah, some more infrastructure on the island.
Nice. So can you get to the whole of the island now?
Still can't. There's still some like plateaus that I need a ladder to get up to. And I think once you extend your house the second time, that's when you get access to the ladder.
Okay.
And that'll let you like explore different terrains on islands.
What about bridges?
Bridges, I'm pretty sure you can build bridges. I've never gotten to the point where I've built a bridge, but I would not put it past this game for there to be bridges. There is
I guess I'm asking because the only really experience I have is when an old roommate, Henry, I don't think he's going to listen, but shout outs to Henry. When he was making his island, he had like these huge rivers that divided his island up into like 3 parts. And he was like, well, I can't get to like anything until I build a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So like he could only access like a third of his map.
That's not the case in this one, though. They give you a vaulting pole and you just stick it in the water and you can like hop over to the other side. It's really gnarly. But what I've done is I bought the
okay, so that's how you get over the little like streams and stuff. It's like a vaulting pole. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have an underground tunnel where it's like the Mario
tunnel.
The Mario tunnel. I can just go to a different part of the island with that. That's been
cool.
Pretty fun.
It's like a warp tunnel.
Yeah.
That's
I love
cool.
it.
It's like a fast travel. I like that. Dude, honestly, like the fast travel in games, that makes it like so much better. I don't know.
It makes it, so much more seamless of an experience. It makes me think of like a game like Skyrim. If a game like Skyrim, which is like a huge, huge terrain, if you didn't have fast travel, you'd easily be playing for hours and hours on end.
Yeah, man. I was actually just thinking about this today because I was playing a little bit of Jedi Fallen Order on my lunch break.
Were you?
I was, and I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to get to. I was like, I have like 30 minutes to play, and then I need to like eat for the other 30 minutes. So I was like, I I can't get to the objective that I want to do. Like my next like main story objective, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get there because I'll have to traverse like half this map of this planet. And yeah, they don't have fast travel in that game, which I think is,
Oh man.
I mean, like, I don't know. It would make it a lot easier in order to fast travel, but like also like all I really wanted to do was kill some stormtroopers. So like I don't know, I got that. So
As long as you get to shoot some stormtroopers
yeah. Well, in this case, I slashed them with my old lightsaber.
with the saber.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, Jedi Fallen Order is really cool because like I feel like every time that I play it, I'm in like a different mood, and you can like change your lightsaber color and like your outfits and stuff. And like the last couple times I played, I've had like a very like light side like Jedi vibe, and I had like a very light blue kind of lightsaber. And today I was like, I'm gonna turn it to red, and I'm gonna put once you beat the game, you get the Inquisitor skin, which is basically just like the people that are hunting you throughout the game if you're not a Star Wars nerd. So basically you get like the bad guy uniform, and I just like went after him.
That's sick. What kind of outfit is that? Is that like an all black robe?
Well, so like the Inquisitors are something that they introduced in like Star Wars Rebels, I think was the first time that they introduced the Inquisitors, and it's like in this game. So basically they're Jedis that survived the Order 66 but then turned to the dark side to hunt down other Jedis. And like in this game you learn other stuff about it, and like you learn more about how they are formed and how like being an inquisitor, like how like being an inquisitor is like, or how they make inquisitors, I guess. And basically they just like torture Jedi until they break, which is awful. But I guess spoilers.
Sounds so wicked.
But it's also like it's really cool because like I mean it ends up being like this huge like story plot of the Inquisitors, because you're like literally being hunted because you were a Padawan that survived Order 66, and you've kind of been like suppressing your Jedi powers, but then you have to use them, and that's kind of what starts the whole game.
And they got to finish the job.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I'm about it, and yeah, it's a great game. I feel like if you go ahead.
Is there an initial like customization?
Yeah, actually, like that's probably, I don't know, a lot of people, I've heard that a lot of people didn't like it, but I loved it. That was like one of my favorite parts of the game. Is so basically you start off and you have this lightsaber, and you like once you get like through the first couple objectives, you're able to like you find a lightsaber part, and you're like, oh, like you find like a workbench, and you can like change the lightsaber parts, so you can like totally customize your own lightsaber. You can customize your outfits once you find them, and or like do story beats, and that customization is really cool. You have a droid companion called BD1, and you can totally customize his skins as well, and the skins of the ship that you have. So that's really cool as well.
But you can't customize like your eye color and like your hair and stuff.
No, you are like there is like a main protagonist, and he kind of just he stays the same. But so you can't change your person, but you can like change his like outfits and lightsaber and stuff, which are pretty
All
cool. Because
stuff.
you're like playing his story, and it's a good
cool.
time. But have you been playing any other games outside of?
I was just playing Final Fantasy VII right before playing, getting on this, and that was really a banger, man. That game is just so much fun. The fighting dynamics are really interesting. I just discovered a new thing called the limit, and that's when you fill up your ATB bar at the bottom. I don't know what ATB stands for, but once you have that full, you can basically do like a really special move. And the special move I have is cross slash, and basically Cloud can like he draws like this.
There's like huge X with like two slashes, kind of with his sword.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Japanese character of
Oh,
the
that's
alphabet.
cool.
And he just like draws it out, and yeah, it's a sick move. I don't know how he moves that huge sword like that. It's so heavy,
So
but
is it like a skill tree that you got that? Like working through a skill tree, you were able to get that?
I think I just leveled up to a point. I recently just hit level 10.
Okay.
Um,
And then
so
you
I,
just
I
get
think I
that.
just yeah, and it came in really useful because I started fighting some enemies that were just really complicated to deal with, like these slashers. They're like these really fast um, mobs, and they'll come at you really quickly, stagger you. And these riot guards with these big shields and like these electric batons, and they
Oh,
like
that's cool.
tase you. And like right now, what just happened before I got on um, to record this episode was I just finished taking out like a ultimate riot guard. He had like a really big shield, and he was a really annoying boss. I was fighting him for at least 10 minutes. I remember fighting him and being like, I gotta finish this dude because I got something to do. Um, and eventually I finished him. It took a lot of like fire spells. I finally figured out if I use a fire spell, I'll stagger him, and then I can actually come in with the sword and do some damage. And I took him down. But after I took him down, like just it seems like the whole unit came, and it was like at least 20 security guards. And then just in that moment, the train came, and Cloud just hops on the train, and yeah,
Oh,
it
that's cool.
cuts to a story. So I have it paused right now. Definitely gonna go play right after we finish recording this episode,
Nice,
and to
man.
see what happens. But yeah, man, I'm loving this game. It's honestly something that like it's been a while since I've had a game that I just really look forward to playing, and it's just gonna be there for you no matter what. It's one hell
That's
of a
awesome,
title.
man. That's a great feeling. And honestly, like nowadays, that's just so needed. And I feel like, yeah, dude, that's just awesome that you're feeling that way.
Yeah, man, I'm super blessed. I found this game, and it was totally free because of my PlayStation Plus membership. So thanks, Sony.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks, Sony. Also, not thanks, Sony, because I still can't get a PlayStation 5.
You know what I think? I think they love these resellers and what they're doing with their product.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they do because I, I was thinking about this. So they have all these people that are buying their product and then selling it for like an up, or like they're reselling it for a markup. And I just wonder how many units are like sitting there waiting for people to be bought for a markup.
A lot.
You know what I mean?
There's
I mean,
a
go
lot.
ahead.
I remember early on, like with the beginning of this craze, like just 2 weeks after release date, there was like people were shitting on these group of resellers because they were upset that nobody was buying the PS5 at a markup, and they had like it seemed like a fucking storage full of PlayStation 5s, and they were holding on to them, and they're just like, people need to buy these. Like, why is no one buying the PS5? And it's because you're selling it at a markup. You have 500 of them, then you just want to sell them at 750 a pop, and nobody's willing to pay that price for that product, especially after people have had this product now for what, like 6 months almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there are troubles, like there are problems that are starting to arise with, like I told you, the analog sticks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It seems like Sony used the cheapest part for the analog sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And they're already giving people trouble. They already have to buy another $69.99 DualSense controller.
Which there's got to be a way that, I mean, somebody soon has got to figure out a way to, or they're going to put a YouTube video up on how to repair them yourself. Cause that's like ridiculous. If you didn't know, there's been a lot of people that have saying that like after like a certain threshold of hours of playing, they're like the controller just like, it just doesn't work anymore. And the joysticks just like they don't go back to the center and they like drift kind of like the Joy-Cons in Nintendo. And like Nintendo had to, they have to repair the. I mean, I guess I don't know if they have to. I mean, they did repair mine, like I said previously, but I don't know. I think there was definitely like a lawsuit, and I don't know what's gonna happen with this, but I mean, like, cause yeah, like if you're at this point, like you kind of have to just buy a new controller because there's just like not very many people have it. You don't have the benefit of the masses having the same product as you and trying to find a cheaper workaround. So
Unless you're in the UK, I think the UK has like laws in place to protect the consumer in that case. And if you put out a product that's becomes defective like that, they have to replace it for the customer. But we don't have those types of laws here. So if that happens to you in the United States, you're pretty much just gonna have to buy a new controller.
yeah, I don't know. And then there's also like I saw something the other day where somebody was making a joke about how like if you decide to have Call of Duty, Warzone, and so if you choose to have Call of Duty, Warzone, Modern Warfare, and Black Ops, I guess like it all won't fit on a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, no, that's totally accurate because of the storage. And if you have a digital edition, good luck having those three titles and then a God of War or like a Final Fantasy. It's just not going to all fit in there. And that's
Yeah.
really the appeal for having a disc edition.
Yeah, I'm really rethinking how I want to do it now because I really want the digital edition because I don't have any PlayStation games. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it would make sense for me to save the money, but then it's like I just don't really know what I'm gonna do because
You could do an external hard drive, get yourself one of those really
yeah,
big
but I
external
think
hard
that
drives.
you have to have certain external hard drives because of the speed required because
Mhm.
this so I think like you can't just like buy a SanDisk off the like terabyte off the
No.
shelf, which is what I was able to do for my Xbox One. You have to have something that will like work with it, or you could like buy an official one from PlayStation, which I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how much those are, but I'm sure they're not cheap. I guess we could look it up really quick.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna, sell that at a profit, make a significant amount of money. But I think if you're gonna go the digital route, it makes sense to have an external hard drive, especially given if you want to build a really nice and library. I have a pretty serious library of PlayStation games, and so that's a concern for me right now. Either if I go digital or if I go, disc, either way, I'm going to run into this issue where I do not have enough storage for all the titles that I want to have on my PlayStation 5, uh, which sucks. And that's really why I'm hoping they make another PlayStation 5 where they fix this remote, where they put more storage into it. And yeah, I want to see too. I want to see maybe a year down the line if there's any other hardware issues that arise. They have to put out a lot of these units at once, and I mean, I know Sony has amazing quality. They won't put out a product that's a bad quality, but there might be some issues, some defects that will arise in the hardware. So I'm really curious to see, a little more long term what it looks like.
Yeah, so just on the as far as the external hard drives go, so they're a different type of hard drive. So I guess what they're calling it the SSD external hard drives, or where they embrace the SSD. And I'm looking at some of them, and it looks like it's like $100 for 500 gigabytes, which is half a terabyte,
Sheesh.
which is like at least double what a normal um, external hard drive would be. Actually, the last time I bought an external hard drive was like 2 years ago, and it was like $60 for a terabyte. So that is a significant
Markup.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess there's the whole thing of like it's faster, so like the load time is faster. So, but I don't know if that. I mean, for gaming, I guess you could say that would make it better. But yeah, I mean, there's that whole thing where it's like that's the SSD is supposed to enhance the speed and that like that is specifically what is supposed to enhance the speed. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess like if I guess from that perspective, like your perspective on it, like I guess we're the people that are or the scalpers that have so many of them. I guess that's good for PlayStation because they've sold so many. But I don't know. I'm just like I'm I'm worried that I'm gonna buy one for like normal prices, and then I'm gonna like a year later it's gonna be like half off because there are just so many. Like you could buy a used one for like literally half the price because do you know what I'm trying to say? Because there's just
I know
so many
exactly
out
what you're
there.
trying to say because, I mean, just look at you and I. Like, we're really hesitant to purchase one right now, and that's just because we're not going to spend $750 for it. So, and these scalpers are already really desperate. Give them another 12 months, heck, even 6 months. They're going to be pushing. You'll see them pushing the price down and trying to just move their product because they're tired of holding this inventory. And you're
Well, I
right.
mean, at the same time, like there is still the chip shortage. So, but I mean, yeah, I guess. So I guess I saw a tweet yesterday. So today is March 16th. I saw some like PS5 tweets today. I guess Amazon is supposed to get 46,000 units on Thursday. So,
Wow.
which, yeah, I don't know. But I mean, honestly, I don't know how fast that would sell out too, because the last couple times I've had like the worst luck with Amazon.
Really quickly, I mean, you can bet scalpers are gonna be on this one too.
Yeah,
It's just
especially because
it's a
they know
hustle.
about it. Yeah.
It's the hustle, and they'll put their bots to the job. Definitely get it ahead of you and I, who are just going there, putting it in our cart, pressing continue to check out. We're not gonna be able to compete with a program that's shooting 10 different accounts at it at once. And
Yeah, but like so like let's say they release them all at once and scalpers are able to get 46,000 PS5s in like let's say the span of a minute. And those all go to like StockX or whatever, like all the other markup sites. What's going to happen to all those when there's just so many, you know? When like you could go to GameStop and buy it for regular price, what's going to happen to all those, do you think?
that is a really good question. And honestly, I really wouldn't be able to tell you. Um, I if I had to guess, they would probably sell them and at a lower price later on.
Do you think
They
they
really mess with the market.
do you think they try and take a loss? Or well, I mean, obviously they wouldn't try to.
Definitely not.
Do you think they would take a loss on
I
them
think it would. I
after
think it
like a
would get
year?
to the point where they would just sell it at like the retail price and just
Yeah.
try to move them like that. It's like we're tired of our tactics didn't really work with this product, so we're gonna just have to move these. At least for some people, there will always be scalpers who would just hold on to them. But
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
guess
the
that's
people who
true.
bought them in mass, like there are groups of people that have a lot, like Best Buy inventory worth of these things, and I just need to move product. I mean, inventory costs money. Just to hold inventory costs money and time. So
So on the note of buying new things, man, have you ever bought a game from Kickstarter?
never bought a game from Kickstarter. No, and Kickstarter being like that place where people will try and like fund projects,
Right.
crowdfund basically.
Yeah, crowdfund. So I've like discovered that there's like this whole area of Kickstarter that's like just crowdfunding games. And honestly, I'm getting a lot of ads on like Instagram and Facebook for these like Kickstarter like video games. And I've like sent you a couple of them, and some of them look really cool. But I got sent this one the other day. I mean, it was like an ad, and it was for a Kickstarter, and I just like immediately was like, oh my god, like I'm totally gonna buy this game. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. I was like, I'll just buy it tomorrow. And I like got like the screenshots, like sent the ad to myself, and then the next day I like went on and they were just like, thank you to everybody that has supported us. Like we've had enough to like like this game is coming out. And I was just like, no, like I totally missed it. So like I'm gonna have to buy the game like a normal person. Um, but I like just I'm kind of sad that I missed this Kickstarter because I saw it and I was just like immediately blown away. And like had I supported the Kickstarter, I would have got like a digital like a physical copy and like some like artwork and some like sound. I guess like a physical USB drive that had like some like music on it and some other stuff, like some other art. And I was just like, I'm kind of sad that I missed out on that. But I mean, obviously, like I haven't played the game yet, so I might not even like it. But I just kind of want to give a quick shout out to this game. It's supposed to come out sometime in 2021. It's called Sky Climbers, and it's all one word. So Brandon, if you want to look that up, if you just type in Sky Climbers, they kind of on their Kickstarter they say a multiplayer city building action RPG, and it just looks like insane, dude. Like I don't even really know quite what this game is, but I've seen like a bunch of trailers and some gameplay of it, and it looks really incredible. And basically, it kind of looks like a Minecraft kind of thing, but in like a really cool fantasy world. And you can like pick your class, which is kind of like Skyrim. Like you can be a mage, a paladin, or a ranger. And I guess you also have like a companion, kind of like Pokemon. Like you have like an animal companion that you can get, and they have like 3 starters. So I'm just intrigued by this like whole concept of it. So yeah, it's called Sky Climbers, and I guess it's coming out on the Nintendo Switch, Steam, Xbox, PlayStation. I guess that's Google Stadia and mobile. Actually, I don't know what that is. That might not be Google Stadia. I might be totally wrong with that. Maybe it might not even be Google. What is Google Stadia logo, I guess? Yeah, so is it Google? Do you know what I'm talking about, Brandon?
Google Stadia, like the cloud gaming service?
Yeah, I guess I didn't recognize the logo, but yes, that it's also coming out on there as well.
Oh, that's sick, man. I'm looking at the developer Paratrope, and wow, it seems like they're 3D printing things and stuff.
I'm really
awesome.
sad. I'm really sad that I didn't get in on this Kickstarter because they had some really cool things. But you should, hey, if you dear listener, you should really check out this game called Sky Climber. I mean, like obviously it's not out yet, so like you have to look at just like what they have. But it looks really cool. I don't know, man, with all like the AAA titles and stuff like being delayed, and I also like don't know how much I'm into AAA titles anymore. Like I feel like I've just kind of been burned, and I'm really trying to really check out some indie games. That's kind of where I'm at with like me playing games. And dude, I do have an indie game that I really want to highlight. So I sent you some screenshots, Brandon, of this game that I'm playing.
I checked it out. That looks a lot like Terraria.
Oh, I've never heard of that. I'm gonna look that up really quick. You said Terraria? Oh, interesting. Yeah. What is Terraria? Do you want to explain what that game is?
I've never really played it much. I remember downloading it on Xbox to just try it out. It's a lot like Minecraft. I think it's just like a 2D game though. And you're kind of just like mining around and stuff and fighting creatures. I can't really speak to Terraria very much. I'm sorry, dear listener.
No,
if you're a Terraria fan, it's one hell of a game, and it definitely has a lot of players worldwide. So shouts out to any Terraria players. That's one hell of a game.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it, and I can see where I can see where you could find the similarities, but it is in like the art style. It kind of is like that, but like it's also like kind of not too. But so the game that I'm talking about, I started playing it. I listened to an interview. This is like the weird. I guess it's not really that weird when you think about it, but at the time I thought it was kind of weird. I guess it's unique because I've never like bought a game this way. But I listened to a podcast where the developer was just talking about his life and talking about the game. And I kind of clicked on it because like we've mentioned before on the podcast, we're really interested in Solar Ash, the new PlayStation game. So this guy's company Solar Ash will be his second game, and I had no idea. And he was talking like in this interview was mostly about his previous game, which is called Hyper Light Drifter. Have you heard of it?
I'm not familiar with it.
So I had heard of it once or twice, and I was like, I don't know, like just like the way that he's talking about it, I was like, man, like it was definitely like the way that it was coming out. I was like, this was definitely a passion project. And I love anything that's like a passion project. So, I mean, this podcast is a passion project.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, I don't know. I was just listening to it and I was like, oh my gosh, like this just sounds incredible. Like this guy's story, I was just so into it. And actually, I didn't even look up any gameplay. I just bought the game just based on like what he had said about it. And kind of, I think I watched the trailer, but basically it's like a 2D game and you have a sword and a gun and you can like phase like a certain distance and you have to like fight these enemies, and it's like a top down kind of thing. And it like the art style, it kind of is like, it's very like you can very clearly tell what's going on. Like it's very good in that sense, but it like intentionally looks kind of like pixely, but not in the way that Minecraft does, but in a way that it's like smaller and finer. I guess more refined is a better way to say it. And it just like, I don't know, dude. I just get lost in it. And I feel like I haven't gotten lost in anything in a while. And I'm just having like the best time with it. And I don't know. It's just so hard because this past year has been odd and different, but just like the experience of just playing this game has been so fun. It's like totally pulled me in a way, like I said, that like nothing has in a while. So it's really crazy. Do you have any questions about it?
You said it was called Hyperlight Drive?
Hyperlight Drifter.
Hyperlight Drifter.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, I guess I'll go into that a little bit. So I think, also like this game is so cool because there's no dialogue. And
Okay.
I think that is really interesting. So basically, like if you come up to somebody, it'll show like a picture of like, or like a series of pictures describing what's going on, or the music will make you feel it along with like the vibe of the whole area. And your player that you're playing as is sick. And you don't, at the point that I'm at in the game, I don't really understand why or how the player is sick, but from in the interview that I had listened to, the designer that had that designed this game, he has like a life-threatening disease that he's like, yeah, like my mortality is kind of like constantly shoved in my face because of this disease that's eventually going to kill me. And he's like, I just kind of woke up one day and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm sick of like, I don't know. It was very inspirational because he was just like, I'm just like going to say no and do only what I want to do. And that's how he ended up making this game. And it's absolutely incredible. Like it is so clean and crisp, and the colors and art are just beautiful. And I think that he had to create a studio because I think he designed like a lot of the art for it. And I mean, I don't really know exactly, but then I think that other people like were making the game with him, but he was doing like all the art for it and kind of designed everything. So the disease that he has is congenital heart disease.
Oh shit.
So, I mean, that's a pretty serious disease, and you can look it up yourself, but
That's sad.
Yeah. And
isn't that a disease where like you're gonna die at a certain
right? Yeah, I think that you just can't. Your body just can't sustain you anymore. Like I think that he talks about how like through parts of the development of this game he had to like. I mean, like you should listen to his voice. Like obviously, like I'm just somebody that listened to him and I'm telling you about it. Like you should definitely listen to him talk about it. I think the podcast was Humans Who Make Video Games, and like we'll definitely link it below. But basically their whole vibe of that podcast is like humanizing, or I guess, I don't know if that's the right word, but they're trying to, I guess, create that human connection to the people that make video games. And I mean, that was so strong just from me listening to it that I was like, I'm going to play this game. And it just so happens it is like so fun. And I'm just so into it. And the art style is so cool. And I love that it's like completely nonverbal. Like you could, like, it's just cool to me that you can like instantly know what's going on. and like it just makes me feel more connected to other people just by the fact that there's like, you know, like there doesn't have to be dialogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's really awesome and interesting.
I think that speaks to like the game and like the design of it. It's so like I like what you said. You know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I believe you said you like you know what's going on and you don't even need dialogue. Like you can just play it. And I mean that sounds super interesting. Are you playing on the Switch? And do you know if it's on other platforms?
I am playing on the Switch. I guess I can look that up really quick. But yeah, so also like kind of like what I was saying is you can just instantly know what's going on. There's also like a lot of the things they have are, or I guess a lot of the things that they use to convey messages also like just symbols that don't mean anything. And that's like, oh, like I now know, like after like seeing it once or twice, I'm able to see like what they're trying to mean. So it looks like, yeah, I see it on Steam and all right, so it does look like you can buy it on PlayStation 4, Windows, Linux? Oh my gosh, how do you say that? You know the word I'm trying to...
Linux, maybe?
Linux, yeah, Linux. Gosh, I don't know why this. Linux, yeah, it looks like they have on Microsoft and Xbox as well. And iOS too, but I would definitely recommend playing this with a controller because I have died a couple times. Like I got to this one point where it was definitely meant to be like, all right, like this is the hump. Like you have to figure out the combat now, and you have to figure out how to beat these people, and you got to learn it really quick. And it took me probably like half an hour to get past that point, and then it like did like this really cool cutscene. Your character like does this like really cool motion with his sword, and he like stabs it into the ground, and it's like, oh, you cleared the area. And I just recently, the last time I played it, I got to another one of those like checkpoints where I was like, it didn't take me as many times in like the actual area where it was like really hard, but it was like the lead up to it, because I was like, okay, like I have like full health here, gotta make sure that I maintain my health through this section right here in order to have enough health to like get through this like swath of enemies. So it was really cool, and it's making me think about like playing like this kind of 2D game more. I don't know if I've ever, like, I mean, like I said, I'm replaying some older Zelda games. I guess not replaying. I am playing for the first time some older Zelda games. And this just feels like so like, I mean, obviously like it's hard to compare a game that's made now to like one of those, but like I'm just loving it so much more and I'm really drawn into it.
It's interesting. I wonder if the creator had any influences and like what were they in creating this game, and also is there a customization aspect to it? Like in the beginning, can you customize your character?
Not at all, which I think that after listening to him and him speaking about the game, I wouldn't at all, because I mean it's his story about him, you know. So I guess it's more well, I guess it's him telling his story through this game, and I don't necessarily know if, I mean, obviously like us the player, like we are playing his story, but I don't think that like I don't think it would aid it to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Because also like the character is like sick, so that's something that like you're struggling with. Like every like couple of minutes, like your character will just like double over and like cough, and it'll start bleeding. Which like it doesn't affect your health, but like you can't move because he's like bleeding out. But
Oh man,
it's pretty intense. And honestly, I the last time we talked about Solar Ash, I had said like I had some doubts after they said that they were going to put combat in it. And I was just really excited for the platforming. And after like playing this, dude, I'm definitely going to check it out. Like this guy, so I haven't said his name. His name is Alx Preston. And you can find him on the internet pretty easily. And the studio that he created is called Heart Machine, which I think is very interesting, you know, like given his like
condition.
Yeah, he needs to like rely on machines to keep him alive, which I don't know. I'm just really compelled with like the whole the human element of this and like this guy's story. And I'm definitely gonna play Solar Ash. I mean, I think I was probably going to anyways, but after playing this, like, most certainly. And it's just so much fun. Like I really, like I said, man, it's really hitting that. Like I just only want to play that and can't put it down.
So he helped create Solar Ash as well. He was part of that process.
So this Hyper Light Drifter was his first game, and it was kind of his game that he made with his studio, and the studio Heart Machine that he created, and then they are also creating Solar Ash. I don't know if they're creating it independently because I mean it's being published by Annapurna, but I think that they are creating it.
And Solar Ash is already out, right? Like you can.
No, Solar Ash is not out. They
they announced it at the PlayStation.
Right, yeah, that's the one where it looks like you can like skate around and you're like the dark figure. It kind of looks like smoke, kind of. And you can like see like the black hole, and you can like traversal and stuff. But yeah, the Heart Machine, it looks like they have like you can look at their website and learn some more about them. But
it's interesting.
It looks like yeah, it just looks super sick, man. And after playing Hyper Light Drifter, like I'm just so excited to play Solar Ash, even more so now. And I'm really excited to see how Hyper Light Drifter ends. I'm really excited about that. But dude, I actually moving on to the next thing. So we just published our Pokemon episode, our like thoughts on Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I guess like at the time, I guess I didn't even, when we were recording it, I kind of like had completely forgotten about the controversy that it had, and because we just loved it. But I just think that that's interesting that we had like kind of I don't know if we like forgot about it, but I don't know. I definitely woke creating that. Like I hadn't even thought of that. So, do you know what I'm talking about?
With Solar Ash?
No, with Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I kind of blurred out real quick. I was searching up the studio, the Heart Machine studio.
You're fine, man. No worries. Yeah, I was just saying, like, do you think? I guess like we just like we just published our Pokemon episode, and I was just like I had forgotten that there was like controversy, and I guess like at the time, I don't know, like when we were recording it, I had just forgotten that there was controversy because we like both loved it. So I guess like, do you have anything that you wanted to say on that or like Pokemon at all?
What type of controversy? Like as far as like the 25th anniversary?
No, I think that like when Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, like people were just, I don't know, there was just like a lot of negativity about, I guess, let me rephrase. I guess there was a minority that was very loud on the internet about hating it when it came out or hating the idea of it.
I saw some things about like people not liking the fact that it's like a 3D Pokemon game and how like that could ruin the franchise just going in that direction.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not about that.
I saw some things about that, and people were upset about them, not going with, remaking something. They just went ahead and started a new region, which I like that they did that because it was like they didn't, for lack of a better word, taint any of the other like regions or old games. They just kind of like tried it out on a completely new region. They tried it out on this new system, on these new processors and graphics cards, and they got to learn a lot through that process. Nintendo and Game Freak, they got to learn a lot about Pokemon and putting a game out on the Switch. And now we have 2 new titles coming out with the remake of Pearl and Diamond and Legends Arceus.
And, yeah, man, it's kind of like they kind of got both of those going for them, like a 2D and a 3D coming.
Right, and it's like for the fans who are like, you know, where's my 2D Pokemon game? You know, it's like, here, like, take this, you know. And then for the fans who like really like the Sword and Shield, it's like we're gonna show you like what we really can do on the Switch, because even though Sword and Shield is an amazing game, there's definitely more that you can do on the Switch. It's such a great little system.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, man. There's definitely ways that they can go forward with it, which is really exciting, and I'm excited to see that. And you know, you had given me some advice in which after editing the last pod, I was able to, or after editing the Pokemon pod, I was able to hear it. And I guess like, I don't know, you had told me that, because I think my biggest gripe with the game was that I was like kind of like at a loss for things to do. I was like, man, like I just wish there was more for me to do at the end of this game after I have this like stacked team. And you'd said like, hey, like you should just look up like what you can do at the end of the game and do that. And man, let me tell you, dude, I have been having an absolute blast over the past like couple weeks, man. I've been sinking so much time into it and just doing all the stuff that you can do after you beat the game. And it's really cool. Like there's still like, I have like a whole list of like mental things that I can do in my head still. And I'm like still working on the Pokédex, and it's going well, man. I'm really glad that dude, honestly, like I still have one entire DLC. I haven't even gone to the Crown Tundra yet, and I think I'm gonna go there soon. I kind of like low key wanted to finish the Pokédex first. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so close. Like I'm just gonna work on the Pokédex, and which, dude, I'm actually really close. There's only 4 more that I can get on my own, and I'm gonna have to trade with you.
Alrighty. I'm looking forward to that. And when you say trade, like you're gonna need me to catch them, or like you need me to like trade to evolve them?
A couple of both, actually. There's a couple. I'll make a little list and send it to you. But basically, there's a couple that like the Shield legendary. What's that dog? Do you remember?
Zamazenta.
Yeah, I don't think I can't get that one. And like
there's Zacian and Zamazenta.
I think I have Zacian. But also, like, so you've played the end credits before, or like the after game.
Yeah, I have played the after game. I went and caught the legendaries, and
what is up with those 2 dudes' hairs, man? Was it like Sordo and?
I'm glad you said it. I've been waiting for this. That one guy with like the sword on that's ridiculous.
Like the wackest thing. I literally like I saw it and I like took a screenshot of it and like just was laughing out loud. I was like, that is crazy. I'm so glad that I had sword, because I would have like, the guy that has the shield hair is not as ridiculous as the guy that has the sword hair. And like if I had sword, like Hop's gonna lose to the sword guy, but like I got to beat the sword guy, so
yeah.
What is up with that?
It's hilarious. I bet you they had a ball making those guys. They probably did that as a little joke.
Yeah. I don't know. That was just so silly to me. I thought that was hilarious.
I bet you like Japanese kids, when they had their first playthrough, definitely enjoyed that as well. Like, what is up with these guys' hairs?
Yeah, man. And honestly, dude, I'm really impressed with Pierce. Like the gym. I guess he's not the gym leader anymore, because I guess oh god, what's her name? Do you know who I'm talking about?
What does she look like?
The person has the Pokemon that like switches from like the dark to grass, and she's Piers' younger sister, Marnie.
Oh yeah, Marnie.
Oh man, I feel bad that I forgot her name. She's cool.
Yeah, she is.
Dude, I think that Pierce is like such a good character. Like out of all the gym leaders, I would have like expected them to flush him out the least. But the fact that they have, like, I'm so into it. Like, I just had a good time with that whole storyline and having him there. I think that he says something like, he's like, man, I gotta stop coming around you. He seems like you always need my help.
He's a cool cat. I'm glad that they introduce some characters like that, and I hope we get to see some more of those characters. Hopefully, there's like a little shout out in Pearl or Diamond. I doubt that they do it in Legends. It seems like they want to take like a completely different route.
I don't think they'll do anything in Diamond and Pearl remakes just because it's. I mean, like I said, that's like Gen 4, and this like it just happens, and they're so different places. But I would love to see more. I don't know. I just feel like this is like the most fleshed out the characters ever have been, and like I mean, the stories. I mean, like I don't know. It's for kids, so like that's fine. Like I'm not disappointed with the story. Like I get that it's for like or that I guess like I guess it's meant for a younger audience, and the fact that I'm wanting more is fine. But I think it's really cool that all these characters are so fleshed out. And I would just love to see if they're gonna do anything with that in like the next one or something. But
You're saying that there could be like a sword 2 and a shield 2?
I don't know. But like so I guess like we know that Arceus is coming next, and that's like a really historical game. So like I guess
They're going back in time.
right, yeah, so they're going back in time. So I guess like the next one that's in like the modern day, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. They might go with a new region. I think they should. They might just go with this bout of like remaking things, like remake Diamond
Well-
Pearl. Then after that, they could remake. What's the region after Diamond and
Well,
Pearl?
Game Freak's not remaking the short or the Shining Pearl or is it Shining? Was it Shining Diamond and Sparkly Pearl or something like
I think
that?
it's like Brilliant Pearl, Shining Diamond.
Yeah, I think it's Brilliant. Yeah, whatever. I think Brilliant. I think
No, wait, I had it flipped. I
think,
had
yeah.
it flipped.
Shining
Diamond,
Brilliant
Pearl.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But I think that it's another studio that's actually making the remakes. So
Oh, really?
so it's not Game Freak. And I think they announced that in the 25th anniversary. So I guess you could check that out. But
Who's your starter gonna be?
I'm actually, man, I'm gonna get Pokemon home so I can have a couple.
Okay, I see how you're moving.
Yeah, I actually now that I've been trying to like in my attempt to fill out my Pokédex, I've really just been trading randomly with people online, which honestly I hadn't really done before. Like you just like the surprise trade. Like
I love that.
I've gotten some really awesome Pokemon. And like I said, like I've gotten like a Mudkip and a couple others. Actually, what's the I think is it Bulbasaur is the final evolution? Is it Venusaur is the baby?
Venusaur is the final. Bulbasaur is the baby.
Bulbasaur's the baby, yeah. Oh yeah, yep. I got a Bulbasaur, which is really cool. So now I have
That's sick.
Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. Or well, I haven't evolved it yet, so it's Bulbasaur. Yeah.
You're sounding like Red.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's really cool. I'm really into it.
I think I'm gonna go with Chimchar.
I think I am too. I don't know how you don't. Because I
But
actually
honestly,
in the last playthrough, I mean, I guess I've given up on it because I'm gonna play the remake later this year, and that's just gonna be so much better. I thought it was really funny. I got on my save file after playing Sword, and I don't even have a single box of Pokemon. I was like, wow, like it's crazy that I don't even have a full box. Like I was just so selective in catching Pokemon that I like hardly have any. And dude, it's snowing right now.
that's
Sorry,
crazy. It's
I'm just looking out
snowing
my
in
window.
March.
Yeah. I mean, like it was like 50 this weekend. So I don't know. I just got distracted and saw that.
I was
it
out
snowed.
playing basketball earlier today, and now it's snowing.
Wow, that's crazy.
Global warming.
Global warming. I love the snow though, so I can't really. Well, yeah, what? It's not good that it's happening, but actually, I don't know. I mean, it's middle of March. Is that bad, or is it bad that there was no snow before this?
It just feels a little weird that it's like we just had a week where it was like 60 something, and now it's snowing.
Yeah, that does feel weird.
That's New York for you, though. It's so bipolar.
Yeah, I don't know. I've said it before. I feel like New York is like a microclimate because of all the cars and the people. I feel like it messes things up. But then it's also by the sea too, and like that.
Yeah, New York definitely has a microclimate. Like sometimes I worry about my lungs and like, am I like?
Dude,
Let's
I
not
do
get
too,
into that.
man. I just cleaned the outside of my windows, and I just cleaned them like a couple months ago, and it was just like black. And I was like, I breathed this in, and I was like, that's not great. But
Hmm.
because like when I think about it, there's probably thousands of cars drive past my window every day.
Yep.
Anyways, back to Pokemon. I think I'm gonna transfer in some Pokemon from Sword because I just have so many, and I think it's gonna be a good time to have some from. I think it's gonna be fun to have like a stack of Pokemon that I can play through.
I think so too, man. It's gonna be fun to just like bring in what you want to bring in. It seems like you're gonna have a lot of selection given that you're gonna complete this Pokédex. So you're really gonna be able to like pick and choose things. I for one I'm gonna be looking forward to just playing through Pearl. Probably gonna go with Pearl because that's the one I played originally. And just trying to fill out that Pokédex, trying to just play through the game how I would find a
I wonder
Garchomp.
how they're gonna do that because I think in the original you had to, in order to complete the Pokédex, I think you had to trade up Pokemon from the Game Boy games.
Yeah, I think so too. So they're probably gonna do something similar here.
You think so? Even though it's like the Switch?
It's always something they do. It's like, if you're a real Pokemon head, that's the only way you could really fill out the Pokédex. You know,
Yeah.
it's like not just anybody can fill out the Pokédex, or else it wouldn't be that crazy of a feat.
Yeah, I mean I've never done it, dude. So I'm like itching. You gotta help me out, bro.
A team effort. We're gonna get you to complete it.
Yeah, man, and I think that I'll be able to. I mean, once I have them all, I mean, then we'll be able to do the same for you, man. So I'm so excited, dude. I'm literally like I'm on the cusp, man. Like I've done pretty much everything I can. Like I've even gone in and there was a couple that I like went in and changed the dates of my Switch to where like it'd have better weather or like to where it have weather on the and got them that way. Which
Cheating.
I don't think that's cheating, man. I don't think that's cheating. But because it also like the game totally knows if you do that and it like punishes you. So like you can't get any of like the daily items for like 2 days. I don't know. I don't think that's cheating because it's like when like if I get on like whenever I get on like if some Pokemon just aren't available because of the weather, you know, and I have a life outside of. I guess that's a debate for another time. Unless I mean, do you want to get into it more right now?
I had a question. I just lost it.
Oh, that's the worst when that happens, dude.
That was a good question too. It is what it is. Let's get into it, man. I mean, I don't.
Do
I
you
mean,
think it's cheating then?
I said it was cheating, but honestly, joke. I'm pretty sure everyone does that. I'm looking. Oh, my
You made me feel bad for a sec.
my question just came back. The shiny charm. Once you complete the Pokédex, you get a shiny charm.
Right.
Do you know what that does for you?
Yeah, it just allows you to have a higher like spawn chance of getting a shiny Pokemon. But at the same time, I think it's like it goes from like one in a couple thousand to like a one in a couple hundred. So
Yeah, and then there's a way to take it down a notch from there as well. I forget what it is, but like you give a Pokemon a certain item, and then it goes from like 1 in 600 to like 1 in 300.
which that wouldn't be too bad. I have right now though. I'm trying to breed a Pokemon and get it the right nature. And honestly, that I like the first Pokemon that I did this for was my Slowpoke, and I was able to get it in about like half a box of Slowpokes. But my Togepi, I'm breeding that one, and that has taken me. I'm on like the second box. And,
It's gonna take you forever, man. But if you got a shiny charm, that also affects eggs. So
that'd be cool.
You would eventually run into a shiny Togepi, and even if it wasn't your nature, you probably want to take care of that one.
Yeah. I think now that I think that once I get one that has the right nature. So here's like another thing. I haven't gotten the ability to see the IVs yet, which we learned about from our Pokemon professor, which is,
Yes, we have.
that is not an episode that is out yet. But we have a guest and they explain a lot of Pokemon stuff for us, the more complicated aspects of it. In order to see the IVs, you need to go and beat Leon in the battle tower, and I have not done that yet.
And he also, I remember the Pokemon professor also put us on. He said it doesn't matter what nature it is because you can
give it the mints, but the mints are like they're 50 battle points, and I only have 2 battle points. So I don't know. I guess like you just have to like put a couple hours into the battle tower. You'd probably be better off, I guess, just doing the battle tower instead of hatching the eggs. But then the thing is with hatching the eggs, you have Pokemon to trade on the surprise trade. So
yeah, that's true. It really, there's a lot. I mean, I'm hoping to get shinies. That's what I really do love shiny Pokemon. I'm a sucker for the shine.
Yeah, they're really cool. So we got to get that shiny charm, man. We got to finish that Pokédex.
I have a shiny Garchomp right now, so it'd be nice to have a completely shiny team.
Yeah, dude. Hey, man, actually, if you don't mind, do you have time tonight? And I'll kind of tell you what I'm missing. Maybe we could finish it out tonight.
I'd be down. I'd be down to do some trading.
Let's do it, man. I think that's a good way to end it. Well, thanks so much, listeners, for listening to us today. We kind of just talked about a whole bunch of stuff, but I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time of day wherever you are. It's evening for us, so have a great evening.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Check us out on Instagram at the Sticky Buttons Pod. Let everyone know about our podcast, thestickybuttonspod.com. That's all you got to do. Just type that in and you'll find our podcast.
Yeah, if
you're listening.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And if you are trying to, if you enjoyed the show, the best way to help us grow is to share it with a friend that you think would also enjoy it. It's really the only way that we're trying to grow right now is if people that like it are sharing it with other people that might like it. That will really help us out. So, thanks if you've done that.